Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an author, speaker, and proud father. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Focus on your own issues. Focus on your own issues. Look, I'm going to tell you something. One of the things I've seen with a lot of people out here, they can point out everybody else's faults. They can point out everybody else's problems and everything. And okay, you see what's going on with them. Look, I'm going to just say it. Unless that person's problems directly impact your life, and when I say impact, like they got some problem and they actually causing some issues in your life that affects your money, affects your well-being, they physically in your face or something like that, okay, then you need to be concerned about their problems, but only to the extent to stop their interference with your life. But let's be real. Most of the time when people are focused on somebody else, it got nothing to do with that actual person. You know? It has nothing to do with it. See, people focus on outside of them so they don't have to look in the mirror. You know, they don't want to deal with their own stuff, their own things. I'm going to tell you what, because see, here's the thing. How is focusing on that other person helping you? The most it can do for you is take your mind off of what's going on with you, but what's going on with you ain't disappearing. Any issue you got, you're going to keep it. You can talk about that person to you, like, or focus on their problems till you blue in the face. That doesn't help you. And look at it from another angle. Okay, say that person do got a bunch of problems. They probably do. You point them out. So what happens when that person solves their problem? What happens when they decide to work on their stuff and to stop it? Okay, then what you going to do? Has that helped you? Or you just going to find somebody else to focus on their problems? Meanwhile, while you doing all this focus on everybody else's stuff, yours is getting worse because you're not working on it. The worst thing you can do is ignore what's going on with yourself because it never gets better. And that can be on any level. That can be some emotional issue. You got some medical issue, just some circumstance in life. You know? What are you doing about that? I mean, seriously, you got to think about it because at the end of the day, you're the only one who knows what's going on with you. You going to wait for somebody else to point it out? Somebody focusing on your problems? And indeed, sometimes even when somebody point out your problems, you try to act, you'll focus back on theirs. How's that working? Seriously, this is a serious thing because you can see some people, and you see it all the time. You see it in life. I've seen it forever. You can see it on social media. Everybody can say, well, this person's this person that. You know, sometimes people call themselves roasting another person. Yeah, but they're not doing it out of a sense of, let's have some fun. They doing it because they don't want to focus on their own stuff. People want to put their fingers in their ears and be like, la, 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 when, you know, their stuff is happening. Or try to pretend it's not happening. It's like, nah, that's not happening to me. But how's that helping you? I'm going to tell you what, going through life, we have to know one person greater than anything, and that's ourselves. Because let's be real out here, we don't even tell our mates everything about us. Everybody keeps something to themselves. I don't care what it is. It's very, very, very few people out here who are totally open. So in that sense, when I say that, that means you know what your issues are. You know what you're going through. You actually know how you feeling in certain situations. Okay, what are you doing about it? Especially if it's causing you pain. I'm going to tell you what, a lot of people, they're going through some issues and some pain, but it's self-inflicted. Or they're not dealing with it. You know? They keeping it going. Sometimes, unfortunately, some people even try to live with their pain. But then they focus on somebody else's issues so they can ignore their own. Now, you got to look in the mirror. Like if you're not in the job that you want to be in, whose fault is that? It's not the days. You know, nobody didn't cheat you. Did you apply for the job you wanted to be in? several times. Even if you didn't get it at that one place, did you apply someplace else? You know, if you're not in a relationship you want to be in, you keep having relationship issues. Like, here's an issue. Since I brought up relationships, here's one that happens a lot. You will get men who will blame like a bunch of women for some issue, but the only thing those women had in common was him. You get women who will say, all men are dogs, and blame them for everything, but the only thing all those men she dealt with had in common was her. So what was the issue within her? What was the issue within him that caused the problem? Because once you change that issue, once you deal with that issue, all of a sudden everything else will change, because then other people would have to respond to that, and they will react to that. And who got control over that? You do. Every circumstance in your life, you ultimately got control over, because you have control over your reaction to it, your response to it. And you got to use it. You got to use it, because I'm going to tell you what, nobody else is going to do it. And I'm going to tell you what, that's the greatest power. Think about something. You have total control out of how you respond to what goes on in your life. Your response. You got control over your response. Stuff is always going to happen. How are you responding to it? What are you doing about it? Seriously, what are you doing about it? Because, I'm going to tell you what, we can't keep going. And I'm saying this as a group. We can't keep going blaming the other for what's really our issues. We can't do it. It's not working. It doesn't solve anything. But then when we look into ourselves, we take care of it, everything else changes. You know? Remember, because even the situations that we see, it's our response to it. That's some power, y'all. That's some power. When you focus on your own issues and you solve it, I'm going to tell you what, there's nothing more satisfactory than you taking care of the problems that you faced, that you taking care of your issues. It's nothing more satisfactory. It's nobody can take it from you. Think about that. Nobody can take credit for it. Nobody can take it from you. And you got that power right there. But in order to employ that power, you got to be focused on yourself and your issues. What you can do to make things better. All right? I want y'all to really heed what I'm saying. I want y'all to think about everything going on in your life that you don't like. Okay, what can you do about it? You know? You might have to die, you might have to exercise, you might have to move, get a new job, but you have control over what to do. Don't focus on what the next person is doing. Focus on yourself. That's very important, because ultimately you have to be responsible for your own well-being. All right? So I want y'all to keep rising. Peace and blessings.